Okay, so today I'm just doing a little bit of a stir fry here, and I have some beautiful garlic scapes from the garden, little baby ones that are super soft. Like sometimes they're too big, they can be tough, but those are really nice little ones. So I'm going to start with frying up the onion, and I'm sure there's probably, just move that out of the way, I'm sure there's probably many ways of doing it. And I don't know what they are, and I don't have time to look it up. But anyway, it's my fast way. It's a little bit wasteful, but you can pick through the scraps after and use them. So I usually score it. This onion has a weird little, I noticed that before in this batch of onions. It's got a weird little center. Anyway, I'm just going to cut around that. So I like to score them because I'm actually going to see if I can pull that thing out. I don't know what that is. Oh, look, it came out. Okay, perfect. Awesome. There's another little piece in there. Oh, I guess not. Anyways, okay, so what you want to do is when you score it like that, usually not with a hole in the middle, you're just going to go like this, and then you have your nice little squares, and it actually works out to be really quick, I think. Usually I'm not trying to pick little things out in the middle, and then just the last bit, you just kind of slice it up, turn it around like this, and slice it up. So I'm just going to move that, and these bits, and put it in here. I always like to get the frying pan super hot with a little bit of water. I don't really use a lot of oil unless I'm trying to put some coconut oil in it, maybe, but I find sauteing it works really good with water. And that, I bought the Santivia water filter, and I really like it. I don't know if you can see it there a little bit, but anyway, it kind of looks like a Brita, but it's not. It's a Santivia, and it does the alkalinity and all kinds of stuff like that. Anyway, okay, I'm not here to advertise that. So just going to check my heat, get it up there, and I have my organic carrots, that I'm going to, that I've already washed, of course. Take the ends off, and actually I like to do 3 at a time because it saves time. Get rid of those, and then just kind of, it depends on how you want them. I just don't want them quite that fat, so be very careful and slowly trim them up, and then line them all up, and then you can just quickly do 3 at once. I've done this quite a few times, so I can be a little bit quicker, but make sure that you don't cut yourself. So the carrots, I start the onions on high first, and then the carrots because they take longer to cook while I'm doing everything else. So I'm going to turn that up a bit. So I have some cabbage here, obviously. Here I'm looking at the cabbage. And I do, cabbage is just such a great food. And it's so versatile, and it's just fabulous whether it's raw or cooked. Of course everything's better for you when it's raw, but I'm just going to put some of that in too. But you know what, I'm not going to put this in until the end because I don't really want it very cooked, I just want it warmed up. I'll just put that there. I have a few crimini mushrooms, and I'm going to give them a little bit of a rinse, and then I have also some shiitake, which are really good, super healthy, good for you. So I'm going to give them, I have a little solution of water and vinegar that I put together, and sometimes when I have time, I make my own apple cider vinegar and mix that with water, and then I wash the mushrooms, rinse them, and then just dip them in that, so that they are good. and rinsed. And put in a vinegar solution. So also, see, this is going to get dry again, so you just keep adding water. With mushrooms, they always should be cooked. You know, I know in the olden days, we used to throw them in salads raw, and apparently nowadays that's not the thing to do. So, you need to cook them. And I'd always pull the stems out. I don't know why. Shiitakes are a little bit chewier, so they give a really nice consistency, as well as being very medicinal, good for your immune system. They are just a super healthy, great mushroom to add to anything. So put those in there, because I want them to cook a little bit longer. Like when I add the vegetables, I'm going to not want them very cooked. So the what I was going to talk about, the peppers. So with the peppers, there's all these, you know, all this controversy and research too about lectins, and how lectins are really, if you've got an inflammatory system or you've got inflammatory conditions, that you shouldn't be eating lectins, which are in beans, grains, and peppers and tomatoes, and so they talk about the peppers and tomatoes having the lectins, and mostly the lectins will be found in the seeds and the white, and so they say to take those out, but they also say that you should peel them, and you should steam them, and anything with beans, rice, quinoa, anything like that with lectins in it, they're supposed to be pressure cooked so that they're fast cooked, and especially with your beans, soaked at least 3 times, like over changing the water over 3 times over 24 hours minimum, and so because that helps to remove the lectins, and then of course you're supposed to cook them fast, not slow, which, you know, we've done all our lives, speaking for myself, cook beans slow all day, and apparently that's not the thing. So there's all these new things, fairly new, and I do want these to cook a little bit longer just because of the, sometimes it doesn't bother us, but for some people, if the peppers are a little too raw, they could be irritating. Some people are sensitive. Anyway, I can't remember what I was saying about lectins, but I'm not a lectin expert. I just try to research whatever I hear about. So, I was going to tell you something else, and I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, so the peppers, yeah, I want them a little bit more cooked, so I'm putting them in next, and then I'll do my cabbage and my broccoli last, because I don't really want them cooked hardly at all. So, you know, as you're sauteing and stirring, you know, you could add all kinds of things, whatever you have in the fridge. Green onions, whoops, I'll keep throwing them out of the pan. But see, what I find is if you keep drying out the water all the time, let it dry out, then it starts to saute, it turns it a little bit brown, it kind of brings out the flavor without using butters or oils, like you can see it turning brown there. And then you just keep adding a little bit of water. So obviously this part of the element is hotter. So I'm just going to push things around there to grab some of that. And I know it's not. It's cooked, so it's not the healthiest just because it's cooked, but it does add flavor. So I'm going to add a little more water so it doesn't stick. And then I have this stuff here. This is, I just am so in love with it. Wild brine, get the label on there right. Wild brine, and it is a raw, naturally probiotic kimchi. And I do make my own sauerkraut, but I just find I can't duplicate this. It's hardly anything left. But it has all the cabbage and the ginger and all the different kimchi things, and I'll read the ingredients. Napa cabbage, sea vegetables, chili pepper, green onions, water, sea salt, sesame seeds, garlic, ginger. Really, really good, and it is the most amazing flavor. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my garlic scapes in. So I usually snap the little heads off. See how that's really bringing the flavor out here? You can just, you can smell it. If you were here, you could smell it. Okay, so I'm going to pull these off. And these actually are tiny enough that you really could put them in a salad. Garlic scapes are like the most aromatic, delicate garlic flavor. Oh my gosh, they're just such a, truly a delicacy in the spring, well, early summer, I should say. Okay, so get those in there, give them a little stir. And then I'll cut up my broccoli. I don't want to bore you too much. These are really good bits for juicing, so I will keep that aside for juicing. Okay, so you can hear that starting to get brown. So I'm going to let it sizzle for a minute, actually a couple seconds, give it another stir so it catches those. I want the garlic scapes to hit the pan so that it just kind of pops open the flavor. Whoops. And before I add more water. I'm kind of messy. I think I need a deeper pan. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do is often what I would do is add seasonings and garlic and stuff like that. I'm going to add this kimchi, but you know what? I'm going to wait for, now that I think about it, I'm going to wait for it to cool down because that is a raw probiotic, and if I heat it, I've ruined everything it stands for and everything it is. So I'm going to add garlic, salt, and oh, I have this really good seasoning that I bought at the farmer's market, and it's really good too. It's Pat's Blends Grilling Spice, and it just has really good flavor. Try not to open your spices over the steam because the steam gets in, so if you pour it in your hand first, that helps. Okay, I'm going to mix that together, and then I'm just going to actually turn this off and add a little more water. And I'm going to add my broccoli and cabbage and just stir it. So these will be raw, so that's the goodness. And then when it cools down, I'm going to add that kimchi to it to give it extra goodness, probiotics, really healthy stuff for your intestines. Okay, so yeah, it all depends what your health is. For some people that are sensitive to lectins, you know, you might want to cook things a different way. You need to look into that, whatever works for you. I personally prefer the peppers and the mushrooms cooked. I just not really a fan of them raw too much. I mean, definitely not the mushrooms, but even the peppers, you know, sometimes in a rare recipe I like them raw, mostly I like them cooked. But you can see how that just warms up the broccoli and the cabbage. And then I'm still going to wait a minute before I put the kimchi in, but that is this one's a Korean kimchi, and it is awesome. Okay, that's it. I'm just going to throw that in when it cools and serve it, and that's it for today. Show you a picture. Beautiful. Okay, that's it. GeorginasSear.com.